Good evening, folks. Sorry for the late hour of the video, but this is what happens to me when I work until 6 o'clock and then, my dinner's not done until 7:30 and I have to unwind for a bit before I start the stuff. But be that as it may, I do have a video here and I do have some high school highlights of Caitlin Clark. But before that, let's talk about the schedule. Versus the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces. So I would have much preferred that they play the Storm because they would have had uh, more of a home court advantage than they do now. So here's what the schedule looks like right now. You guys may have seen this, but for the benefit of those people who follow but don't know, the way it's working out is the first game is this coming Sunday, the 21st at 3 p.m. It will be televised on ABC. That is in Vegas. As is Tuesday, September 23rd at 9:30 p.m. on ESPN. So the first two games are in Vegas. Then it shifts to Indianapolis. Friday, September 26th, time to be determined yet. No time on that one. That will be ESPN2. Sunday, September 28th, 3 p.m. on ABC if necessary. And then the final game is in Vegas. So the Aces get 3 and we get 2 this semifinal. That's Tuesday, September 30th. Time and TV to be determined if the game is necessary. So this is 3 games out of 5 to stay alive here. And the Las Vegas Aces are going to be much tougher than the first round, much tougher than the Atlanta Dream. So again, the first 2 games in Vegas, the second games 3 and 4 are in Indianapolis, and then the 5th game, if necessary, will be in Vegas again. So that's what we know right now. As they figure out whether the games are necessary and what the times are, I will keep you posted. So regardless of what happens here, okay, the Indiana Fever have exceeded everybody's expectations, okay? And we should be proud of their accomplishments in the face of all the adversity they have had all year long. And that's all I'm going to say on that topic. Now, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. I have a couple of videos I'm going to put in tonight. Again, I will put them in the description of the video itself, but I will also put them in under posts as I always do. I'm not going to show all of them. I've got one that is her best high school clips. That's what this one is. I do know that there are a few full games out there. I'm going to try to find those. I have seen them, but you got to kind of dig deep for them, and they may very well be buried in articles. I can't remember where I saw a couple, but I will find them. I'm also, someone wanted me to see if I could find the video of where she literally beat the boys' practice team, which was talked about in the interview with David Letterman. And I have found a couple of things that aren't really good. I mean, the videos themselves aren't good, but I know there's a much better one out there, and I am working on that. But be that as it may, I don't have them tonight. So let's take a look at what I do have. This kind of has a narrative with it as well. So hang on a second. Oh, wait a minute. I meant to do something before I did that. Sorry about that. It's always a challenge with me, isn't it? Yeah, it surely is. Okay, now, now, now let's get down to business. We'll show some of this. This is 5 minutes and 9 seconds long. I have a couple of other videos also, but I will put those in the description. We won't watch all of those.
Caitlin Clark is accomplishing things we've never seen before on the basketball court. Her domination at the University of Iowa is turning heads and has helped advance the sport of women's basketball as a whole. But before she was putting up exceptional numbers at the college level, Clark was setting high school records in the state of Iowa while developing a fierce passion for the sport. A look back at her high school tape shows us how her competitive spirit and desire to be the best shaped her into the player she is today. She learned how to turn setbacks into comebacks while becoming one of the most electrifying players we've ever seen. Let's dive into what made Caitlin great. Growing up, Caitlin was regularly the best player on the floor. Her quickness and high basketball IQ made her difficult to defend. As a result, she struggled to find opportunities to challenge herself and grow as a player. As a kid, her dad has been reported saying he couldn't find a girls' league for her age, so she joined a boys' league. Clark put on such a performance that the losing opponent's parents complained that girls shouldn't be allowed to play with the boys. She went on to win an AAU state championship. By 8th grade, she was playing with and against high school seniors. Her high school coach, Kristin Myers, said Clark was always the most skilled player. During a team camp the summer before her freshman year of high school, Coach Myers was amazed by Clark's skills on the basketball court. They were unlike anything she had seen before. Myers quickly realized she was coaching someone truly unique. Clark later burst onto the scene in high school, wasting no time to make an impact. She contributed right away her freshman year, with double-digit points in her first 3 varsity games. She averaged 15 points per game and scored as many as 26 in a single outing. To help Clark improve even more, the Dowling Catholic coaching staff had the high school boys join their practice as an opposing team. That extra challenge paid off. By her junior year, Clark was averaging 32 points per game. In fact, that season she put up 30 or more points in 16 of her 25 games. Clark is well known for her fiery personality and passion on the court. In high school, she learned how to harness her competitive spirit and make opposing teams pay. Quote, "I'm definitely someone who wears my emotions on my sleeve. Some people frown upon that, but I think it's what makes me so good," Clark said in an article from Hawk Central. There were moments when Coach Myers had to take her out of games during her freshman year to let her cool off and regain her composure, whether she was frustrated with the referees or how she was playing. Myers also believes that her competitive level is beyond the average athlete. Clark has an inner drive that pushes her harder than most. As she got older, Clark harnessed that intense competitive drive into dominating her opponents. Opposing student sections would try to get under her skin by chanting at her, but it never worked. One crowd chanted, "Overrated" at her. How did she respond? By dropping 42 points and leading her team to a victory. Clark finished her career with the 4th most points and 6th most three-pointers in Iowa history. Clark's teammates have expressed how much they love playing with her, saying, "When Caitlin's light shines, it shines on all of us." Her passion has helped lead her team to trophies. Clark led Dowling Catholic to the state playoffs in multiple seasons and took the Hawkeyes to their first Final Four in 30 years. Clark isn't a stranger to setbacks. In fact, she uses them as fuel for her success. After representing the United States on the U16 team that went on to claim the FIBA championship in 2017, she aimed for the U17 squad but didn't make the cut. She channeled that rejection into motivation. She amped up her workouts and honed her skills. Coach Myers saw her work ethic and competitiveness reach new heights. She played lights out during her junior season, averaging 32 points per game and setting an Iowa girls basketball record for most three-pointers in a game with 13. She also put up a 60-point game during that season. Clark continued her dominance as a senior, scoring 40 or more 7 times and adding 8 double-doubles. Clark went on to make the U19 team and win a FIBA World Cup Tournament MVP in 2021. She won a multitude of Iowa State accolades, including Miss Iowa Basketball and Iowa Girls Basketball Gatorade Player of the Year. Her knack for setting records and winning awards followed her to college, where she won the AP Women's College Basketball Player of the Year in 2023. In this singular moment, we see a snapshot of what made Caitlin Clark great. Needing a 3 to tie the game and send it into overtime, the opposing team knows the ball is coming to Clark. However, she swiftly whips around the arc. With the game on the line, her competitive drive shines through as she buries the 3 with a hand in her face. It's these kinds of game-changing moments that shaped Caitlin Clark into the clutch player we know today. Caitlin Clark is dominating women's college basketball while advancing the sport to a whole new level. Her flashy playstyle and game-changing abilities have made her a star. In high school, she sought out the best competition, harnessed her competitive drive, and turned setbacks into comebacks, inspiring the new wave of athletes.
So I had to play that whole thing. Those were great highlights as far as I'm concerned, but I think people don't understand that Caitlin Clark has not always had it easy, okay? She has had challenges in her career because everybody has challenges in their career, okay? This year for Caitlin Clark is a challenge, okay? It was a challenge, and honestly, when she was injured that last time when I was at that game, I was clearly worried about how she was going to be able to handle that. And then when I found out that, she was going to be out much longer, I said to myself, this is going to drive her nuts. And I'm sure it did, but I think Caitlin Clark handled it like a champ. I really do. And I think she continues to handle it like a champ. Look, if you don't think that she wants to be on that court in these playoffs, then you don't know Caitlin Clark. And this is why I am absolutely convinced that she is going to do everything uh, she possibly can to be completely mid-season form come May of 2026. There's no question in my mind. Somebody said to me, so you think she's going to play golf in the off season? Yeah, I think she'll play golf in the off season. I do. She likes golf, okay? But that's a hobby for her. That's not her career. I think Caitlin Clark in the off season, her number one focus will be to be prepared to play WNBA basketball in 2026 and to dominate the sport. That's the way I see Caitlin Clark as a player. So that's what I'm counting on. There's absolutely no reason for me to think otherwise. And again, I'm going to say this. We're going to watch the off-season activity, obviously, of Caitlin Clark. I honestly, I know she hasn't had any actual game basketball or even really contact practice since July 15th of this year. So I think she is going to need that in the off season. If you look at, they have, these injury lists of, the players in the WNBA who were injured, and, they have like projected return dates. And next to Caitlin Clark's name, I noticed the other day it was April 2026, which would be, a month before the season starts next year. Now, people are speculating that she's going to join Unrivaled because that will give her 8 weeks of actual basketball activity. I'm still not convinced. Now, would it bother me if she did that? It wouldn't. Because she said from last year that she wasn't going to play, but she wouldn't rule it out for the future. So she wasn't anticipating being injured for the entire season this year, which she really technically has been. She's played 13 games. So I don't know whether she'll play in Unrivaled. As of now, she hasn't announced that she's joining Unrivaled. The roster spots are pretty much all filled. However, the CEO said that he would always have a spot for her should she choose to join. So that could happen, although I don't see it happening. But I am also convinced that the Fever management, the Fever organization, as they said, is going to make available to her whatever she needs to get back into game shape for 2026. So we're going to watch this and see where it goes. So that's it for tonight, gang. I have that video. I have a great, great interview with her high school coach, her Dowling High coach, Kristin Myers, also as a video in the body, the description of this video that I'd like you guys to take some time to watch. And again, I will put both of those videos not only within this video, but under posts on the YouTube channel itself. Tomorrow night, I got some more video we can look at. So I hope you guys have a great night. And on Sunday, that video on Sunday will be a post-game video. And we see how they do in Vegas against the Aces. I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. I hope you have a great night.